branding and naming and everything is interesting, but
the one affiliate channel you would go all in on today?
It's like almost every program is cannibalizing. So, and the worst thing is that.
Let's start, from what? One of affiliate marketing expert, Dustin Hoffs, I know you know him.
Yeah.
Called you a pioneer of consideration marketing.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Could you explain it a
that's
bit more, like what the benefit of it to your customers?
Yeah. So actually, I didn't want to. Branding and naming and everything is interesting, but I actually have to give a shout out to Elena Putupa, who's now based in New Jersey, and I think she works for one of the Hightow companies. But she's kind of like a mentor of mine, and I kind of shared with her a model for the kind of work that I want to do with clients and affiliate programs. And basically, like the whole part of the idea is like it's a combination of first party content and third party content. So whereas originally a lot of the affiliate agencies, affiliate managers, whatever, it's all third party content or third party affiliates, but I think there's room to have first party and other like type of content assets, and then be able to integrate those and to be your own kind of affiliate and do stuff. So it's like you're kind of an extended affiliate almost of a brand. So it's not saying we don't work with third party affiliates, but we do work with them. And then we also try to work with first party, basically content assets and things like that. Additionally is that we don't really we do inherit some affiliate programs with lower funnel kinds of partners. Like sometimes they'll have coupons, sometimes they'll have loyalty partners, sometimes they'll have sub networks, whatever, all that kind of stuff. But as a general rule of thumb, like if we're going to launch a program, unless there's a specific request from the brand to kind of onboard, activate those partners, or they're already there, we don't really work with any of those partners. So kind of like using the whole funnel kind of example or idea, I guess, is that we really work in the mid funnel and up. So those are the two primary differentiations. And then kind of when I ran that by Elena, who's a mentor of mine, I kind of like told her, I was like, this is what my idea is, and this is what we want to, how we want to work with brands. And she said, that's not even really affiliate marketing in the traditional sense. She's like, that's kind of something different. So that's kind of like, it's very early on, but I think so. That's kind of like my effort to kind of rebrand it a little bit or kind of come up with something different, which is, we're kind of offering a different service than most like traditional agencies or, what most brands are used to. So then kind of like having them be able to kind of recognize that it's a little bit different. So that's the reason for, I guess, Dustin. And then that's kind of like my, reasoning behind the naming. So
I think it's really nice that you started with this consideration marketing, because I think, and I know you focus more on e-commerces, but of course, maybe would like to work with some SaaS brands as well. And I know that for a lot of brands, actually, consideration marketing is that they neglect totally.
Yeah.
Because and right now, when all these AI tools arise, you can just attribute anything to to last click, to affiliate who bring just money. You need to work on the really whole consideration funnel.
Yeah.
And especially for B2B or SaaS, it's kind of a huge one. You need to be shortlisted, then you need to be chosen from this short list, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Okay, this sounds really great. Yeah. And okay, welcome to the Tapfiliate Growth Lab show. And today we are sitting with Joshua Kennedy, the founder and CEO of Imagine Marketing. I guess ranked as number 2 best affiliate agency with Design Rush and number 6 with Clutch, right? And also, I know you are the host of podcast Affiliate Marketing 2.0 and musician and comedian. Welcome.
No, appreciate the intro there. Yeah, I do have my hands in some different pies or some different pots for sure. So yeah, a little bit of a generalist, but I also, I really enjoy like affiliate marketing. Like I have my newsletter, my podcast and everything. And I think, so I'm really into the strategy and the kind of the theory of everything. So like I do kind of have a passion for that. So spend a lot of time trying to figure out the best ways to I basically want, I don't really kind of take, like if someone says this is the way that things are supposed to go, or this is the process, or like this is like, I'm always trying to poke holes in that and then try to find a better way to do it. So that's kind of my whole, the kind of the platform of how we work with brands and just customers, and all of my theory and everything is like, I think that the processes, the strategies, like all of that kind of stuff that have been implemented in the last 15 to 20 years since kind of the inception or the beginning of affiliate marketing, like program management, I think a lot of those can be improved. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my whole thing. But I do, like, whether it's in my newsletter called Affiliate Marketing 2.0, whether it's on my podcast, I try to be an advocate for kind of the evolution and the improvement of services, of strategy, of all that kind of stuff. So that's where I come from.
Okay, and you mentioned that you originally a journalist.
Yeah.
How you ended up in affiliate marketing?
Yes, that's a good question. So I was like I was kind of like a journalist, or a writer for like a local newspaper, and used to do like concert coverage, like music concerts and things like that, and all kinds of things. And I started working when I was like 24, 25 at a basically like primarily a CBD company then, but they also have like sleep supplements and all kinds of different things. And so I just saw an opportunity. I was actually a content writer for them, hired as a blogger or a content writer, and then I kind of like was doing some scouting and competitive analysis and saw some competitors doing affiliate programs. And I was like, I told my boss, I was like, hey, we should look into doing this. And, I had some time on my hands and whatever. He actually told me no. He said, you should just focus on writing. And then I actually, much to my nature, right, is like, I did it anyway. And then, it ended up being like a multi-million dollar contributor to the business, over the couple years that I was there. And then actually, I think on the on Impact Radius, like on Impact Radius, we started on a WordPress plugin, and then we got it to a point where we're making 50,000 a month or 100,000 a month. So it's like something that was too big for a plugin or too much revenue and traffic. And then we moved over to Impact back in the day, 2016, 2017, pretty early on. And I think even now we're like the fourth, like if you filter the advertisers by join date, we're like the fourth health and wellness program that's in Impact overall. So like I was kind of like an early, I guess early adopter or like kind of early mover to get like on to use the Impact tool. So that's kind of like a cool, I guess, wrinkle or part of that story.
Great. Okay. Before we dive into our topic, let's make our record a bit more funny.
Okay.
Engagement. And kind of, I prepare kind of an affiliate marketing host seat. Like I will ask you a few questions, and you, without long thinking, will choose the answer. Okay. Like
Correct.
just a few. Okay. The one affiliate channel you would go all in on today?
Whitelisting. So that's the one I would go in all in. Yeah. Happy to provide more info. That could be it right there. So.
Okay. Your go-to karaoke song?
It's probably like maybe Rebel Yell by Billy Idol, like English rock singer.
Okay. The biggest mistake most people make when they start with affiliate marketing?
So I think probably just due diligence. So I think a lot of people end up they choose affiliate managers or agencies based on price as one of the main considerations, and so they basically end up with not the best talent and kind of mismanagement. And so if you might save $1,000 or $2,000 or whatever on a monthly retainer, but you end up giving up 5,000 or 10,000 a month or more and cannibalization. So like, I think that they just don't do really good due diligence. And then, I think that's the biggest thing. And so they end up paying in the long term and like overall, I would say, like from my experience, I've seen hundreds of programs like in my time, so like I have a pretty good sample size. I would say that probably 90% or more are cannibalizing, so like it's not a small problem. It's like almost every program is cannibalizing. So and the worst thing is that they don't really know it, right? That's the other thing, is like I've been in, I've talked to multi-$100 million companies, like no $1 billion companies yet, but multi-hundred million, and looked at their programs, and they were probably 30 to 40% cannibalization. So I think that's the biggest thing, is that due diligence on that end. So
Okay.
yeah.
One tool you can't live without as an affiliate manager.
SEMrush.
SEMrush. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. Why not Ahrefs? Well, actually, I like SEMrush more as well.
Yeah. So I've used Ahrefs some and at other companies. I just have kind of always gone to SEMrush. Like I think the ads research is big for us. So the ads research is nice. The SEO research is nice. Backlink analysis, gap analysis, all that kind of stuff. So just haven't had a reason to move on.
Okay. For me, it's more simple. I just like SEMrush UI.
Yeah.
For me, it's more representative. Like they have all these graphs, etc., and I just go to a dashboard and see everything without clicking anywhere.
Yeah.
In Ahrefs, you need to at least go somewhere else, make some movements. Okay, something that you've learned from a comedy that helps you in a business. I know that you was in a few movies.
Yeah. So comedy, I think more kind of, I guess, doubling down on your what you think. Like so a lot of comedy, like you can kind of get away with saying whatever you want, but you can't give into the audience. You have to like double down on your jokes or your perspective or whatever that is. So I think in the same way as like you kind of have to, as an entrepreneur, as a business, as a spokesperson, whatever, you have to kind of double down on your own ideas and your own perspective and how you should run things. So like, even maybe we could touch on this later, but like I have an idea of like not even calling my employees instead of like affiliate director or VP of affiliate marketing or anything, like having a completely different description for them and to completely different job roles. So like not being afraid to, and really embrace your own ideas and the way that you think things should be done. So
Yeah. I've even put in LinkedIn my job title as Killjoy of Tapfiliate marketing.
yeah, nice.
Because
Nice.
like, why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and the last one from Rapid Fire. Your favorite affiliate 2.0 tool or tactics right now for you?
Yeah, so there's a couple of them. So I think one of
Favorite
them,
one.
yeah, just one. Yeah, I mean, again, I go back to whitelisting or affiliate content distribution. So like that kind of idea or that practice tactic is my favorite.
Okay, and now let's move on and get started with our main topic: how to turn affiliates and creators into scalable paid media assets. And the first questions will be why creators and affiliates actually make better paid media assets than brands?
Yeah, that's a good question. So and a good like segue. So I think pretty much all data, like I've heard from some of the biggest American direct to consumer brands. I think Ritual was one of them that I just heard this from their marketing team and influencer team, is that basically across the board, like partner ads, whitelisting ads, like kind of things that are basically masked from as creator ads on primarily probably Meta, but and other platforms as well. They're just the best performing ads, right? And because essentially it just comes down to the fact that other consumers are not dumb, right? And consumers know when they're trying to be sold to, right? And a lot of times in media buying and things like that, they've kind of done the consumer psychology studies where it's like people develop ad blindness to when they're being sold, right? And they'll just skip over or ignore ads. And so the brands are investing in those ads, but people are attuned to just ignoring them. So whitelisting creators publishers, partner ads. Like basically, the more authentic and non-brand run kind of ads that it is, like the better click-through rates and possibly the better results. So like that's the whole idea, is it's just better to have someone else speaking about you, but it's even better if you can get that same third-party voice, but you can run it within your brand ad account. So that's kind of what whitelisting is and why it's so important. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the overview there.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a point as well. Like the kind of short answer with these questions: why they create a better paid media? I think maybe because most of them more professionals than internal team.
Yeah.
Because especially if we are talking about paid media affiliates, they kind of used to be media buyers,
Yeah.
and because they are not restricted with brand books, etc. Sometimes they create, then they can test a lot of different images, creatives, etc., and find out which one is the better one. A lot of companies, because of all these restrictions, brand books, bureaucracy, they just can't run it so fast. Maybe that's also the point. And okay, if affiliates are the heroes here, does that mean that whitelisting their secret cape?
Yes. So I think whitelisting. So I know that whitelisting has been done in affiliate programs for before. Like I'm not the first person to ever whitelist, or first program to ever whitelist. But what I will say is that it's not like a widely accepted practice or
Yeah.
tactic, and it's not. I don't think it's fully developed. So like I think basically like there have been one or two maybe publishers in the affiliate US industry that have kind of whitelisted their content, and then people kind of see it as like, oh, that's what they do. But really whitelisting is kind of again a tactic that you can implement with any publisher or creator, right? And there's also a lot of room for experimentation with whitelisting. So you can whitelist different types of content, right? Like so you can do like more listicle style content. You can do various creator angles. So like I guess what I'm saying is, people might have done it before, but they might have only done one campaign with whitelisting, right? Well, again, there's multiple opportunities, right? You have different products that your client sells. You have different like editorial or content angles, stories about the founder, different pain point type of things. So I think that even different kind of like funnels, if you want to call them that, right? Where it's like maybe we're testing a newsletter versus like a top 5 listicle versus a Medium article versus a creator. Like there's all kinds of different ways to do it. So I believe that moving forward, and the best affiliate marketers and the best affiliate agencies will be using that as I think it'll become more regularly integrated into affiliate management, into management practices, kind of like how your performance PR content partners or influencers or whatever you want to, or loyalty partners, like I think they'll become just a staple of like affiliate marketing programs moving forward. But it'll start with the best and then kind of become a more common practice, I think. So
Yeah, but whitelisting, it's kind of, I don't know, a ticket to VIP club. Not every affiliate allows to use it, right?
yeah, so there's probably only a few. Yeah, there's only a few that I know of that are really that really offer it, where they will either offer. So basically, what it is for people who don't know is really primarily on Meta, but there's other places you could probably do similar things with TikTok and things like that. But you're basically able to run ads. So like if I'm a brand, let's say I have I don't know, I'm Nike, right? And then
Ah.
there's a really cool like Men's Health or something has an article about the best running shoes this year, right? Well, basically whitelisting is where Nike is now able to just basically run ads under Men's Health's account to drive traffic to that page from Meta, right? Or wherever
Mhm.
it's like wherever the content is. It could be on TikTok, it could be other places. And so basically what that does again for Nike is it gives them that ability to run content under like as like as an independent or an authentic kind of thing, but all that data gets backed into their own Facebook ads manager.
Mhm.
There's other benefits to it too. Like, they have, like, for instance, like Nike will have a historical basically algorithm and data that's conditioned Facebook or Meta to basically show its ads to certain people, whereas Men's Health has a completely different algorithm or a completely different content history. So you're getting access to these different incremental audiences by doing that, as well as getting that independent voice in the marketplace. So like a paid media team, for instance, would say, oh my gosh, we're getting better click-through rates here, it's cheaper, right? Like we're getting we're distributing affiliate content in front of new people, like we're getting more creative diversity. So there's all these kind of benefits to the paid media side of things. And so yeah, I mean that's why we're focused on developing it so much. I don't know if I got a little bit off track with my answer there, but I just wanted to give a little bit of background to what it is. So did I answer your whole question there, or was there something I missed?
Well, you answered, and I have a few additional points. As whitelisting, it's a kind of VIP access. What are the parameters of those affiliates to whom you can allow it to use it, or not really? Because I think, of course, every affiliate would like to use whitelisting, but not all of them have the parameters where the brand should agree.
Yeah, so I think I mean, it comes down to anything, right? It's like, what matches the brand, like what matches the brand kind of identity, right? And like how they want to show up to the marketplace, because these what the editorial, and that's, I actually think that is even more of a point for whitelisting compared to like the regular content affiliates, because if you think about regular content affiliates, like they are controlling most of the what they say about the brand and the narrative about the brand. There might be sometimes, like for instance, we have a client now. They sell greens powders internationally and vegan protein powder. And Wired magazine, right, which is a big, I don't know who owns them, but like they're the big online publication. They said that the editor said that the product tasted bad, right? So like they said that in a whitelisting campaign, you're not going to get that same information because you're designing it to convert through Facebook, and it's in the editorial integrity is important too, but like from a brand perspective, you don't want to. So now that lives in Google, and now everyone thinks that product tastes bad, right? Whereas in a whitelisting partnership, you're working together before the content is published in order to say certain things, to do more pain point benefit kind of things. So the model for the page is more of like an advertorial versus like a traditional content typically. And so, yeah, I mean, that kind of, I guess that synergy or that like preparation between the publisher and the brand to like how that messaging shows up and how the brand is described and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot more, I guess, control, but there's a lot more planning that's involved in that versus just having. So the way I think about it is it's a way to blend the first party and the third party together, right? They're coming a little bit closer. So like in the traditional affiliate programs, like content partners, whatever, for instance, in this example, Wired magazine, like they're the third party and they are the one that's controlling everything. There's not a lot of control or influence from the brand side. But like under whitelisting, now those two parties, right? The first party and the third party, the affiliate and the brand, they come together and they kind of blend a little bit more. So they're able to, there's just a little bit more balance to that relationship in my perspective. So
it sounds like whitelisting, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you affiliate who use whitelisting with a certain brand, you can, as you mentioned, you can say it has a bad taste.
Yeah.
Right? But for me, like, just imagine I'm a consumer and I'm watching this affiliate or watching a video or read a tutorial of this affiliate, and I see like only good words, but then I buy the product and it tastes bad. For me as a consumer, I won't trust this affiliate anymore.
Yeah.
Like the same way I trust before. That is why I think whitelisting, it's a really double-edged sword and should be used carefully.
Yeah. So I mean, so there's a couple things, right? Is I think that, like, for instance, something like taste is very subjective.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you might get like it, but your daughter might. You're, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so you're going to lose, and I guess my point being is that we at least gave you the opportunity to see if you like it or not, right? Whereas, like, you as the consumer ultimately have the freedom, or the freedom to say, like, I do not want to buy this, I want to try to return this, or I won't recommend this, or I will recommend this. So, but whitelisting, I guess, and is giving you that opportunity to try it. So, I guess that would be like a win, or on our side, or that would be like a success on our side. So I'm definitely not an advocate of, like, like saying ridiculous things and making crazy health claims and all of that kind of stuff. Like, but I also am like, you know, I want to get as much product into people's hands as possible. So, like, and then from there you know, they can do it. And then I think the other elephant in the room, if you want to say, is that most of content has been bought anyway. Like, we just, I'm not going to name them specifically, but I just got off an email 30 minutes ago where they're talking about, like, we have a greens powder, and it's a big, like, let's just say that it's somewhere in the state of New York, right? So what's a publisher in that area? They have a best greens powder listicle roundup, which the number one spot is bought for the next 3 months. So it's like, the true editorial integrity and true and whatever, like, it doesn't really exist. I don't think. There might be smaller publishers that are, they really are completely 100%, like, they have that integrity, and they're not influenced by, how much money is being exchanged. But, like, the majority of content out there is influenced by money in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
just also, that's not just whitelisting. That's regular SEO content. That's Google Ads content. That's basically anything. There's hardly even all influencers, right? Like, even most of the influencers that you see running UGC or, like, doing brand,
Yeah.
it's all paid for. So it just
Yeah.
kind of is the name of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that is why a lot of people at the moment, they would rather ask any AI model to recommend them some
Yeah.
product, because
Yeah.
it's less promotional.
Yeah.
But at least now, at least
Yeah.
now, I think
Yeah.
it will be in the future for sure for some products. But okay, let's carry on. Speaking of our top performance, which types of affiliates perform best as a paid media assets? I don't know, ACM, ACO, Reddit affiliates, Twitter, etc. For, I don't know, for some brands, maybe you can bring some examples for
Yeah,
some.
no. So I think so far, we've really just done content affiliates that are, like, again, we kind of, like, would work with, like, a traditional content publisher, and then kind of just the main, like, the main types of content we'll do is, like, listicles, right? So top five roundups, or top 10, or whatever you want to say. And then also, like, we've, like, founder stories have worked well for us. And then I think, again, the other thing is, like, really that advertorial kind of, that whole, like, the whole, like, kind of advertorial, I guess, like, all the history of advertorials, and, like, how they've been used in marketing, and all that kind of stuff, and all that theory. That's really what is the other type of content that you use. So, like, you dial in on a pain point. Could be inflammation, it could be stress, it could be blah blah blah. So, like, if you're someone that has, like, inflammation, and then an article pops up on your feed saying, if you have inflammation, here's, 5 ways to help you, or to, relieve your pain, or whatever the thing is. And then, as a part of that article, now you're recommending, a particular product or supplement or whatever. Then that's the kind of stuff that tends to work well. Not saying it's the only things, but also the other thing is creators, right? Which is where you can either use a publisher kind of account to run the ad, or you can use a creator account. But a lot of brands kind of already do UGC. So, there's but I think those are the two primary ways. Sometimes brands will run, like, they'll start off with the creator as, like, the first brand kind of, or the first consumer impression. So they'll have an ad that the creator has run, and it's a whitelisted program, and then that'll lead to, like, an actual listicle or page and stuff, instead of directly to the brand. So there's all kinds of ways that you can, I guess, if you want to call it a funnel, or a flow or however you want to call it, right? Whatever your terminology is that it's really publisher heavy, content publisher heavy, but there's also room for for creators to whitelist or to do these types of partnerships with. So,
But okay, the question was a bit different, but anyway, let's carry on.
yeah.
Let's continue. And I know that Reddit show ups quite a lot in your case studies.
Yeah.
What makes Reddit such a strong acquisition channel, and how do you keep it scalable?
Yeah. So, I mean, Reddit is amazing because of the high intent and the researching customers and consumers that go there, right? So they really want to know what's the best product. They trust people on there. So it's essentially just it's pretty much like a review site essentially. But what I can say is that we might sell a little bit on Reddit right now, but nowhere near the amount that we were selling like 3 months ago, 6 months ago, because Reddit has like really policed and kind of like locked down a lot of the promotional activity on there. So
Mhm.
I wouldn't really recommend it as like an acquisition channel, if you want to say that anymore, for affiliate programs based on our experiences. Because like basically all of our affiliates that we were working with, they had their accounts deleted. So uh,
Uh-huh.
like I don't think it's a really viable thing long term, and probably good on Reddit for doing that. But yeah, I mean, we did probably do maybe close to six figures on Reddit in terms of affiliate revenue, like in the past year or so. But like anymore, it's probably not realistic to try to recruit affiliates there.
Okay, okay. I know that a few of your last case studies, all of them related to Amazon, right? And using Levante as a affiliate tool. I
Yeah,
saw it. What types of affiliates works better for those Amazon
yeah.
brands?
Yeah, so it's really, I mean, really media buyers, like the review site media buyers. Like if you have again like best air purifiers, and then
Uh-huh.
they go into Google Ads, and then they'll appear at the top of Google for that search, or Bing for that search, or wherever, and then the consumer clicks through. Your air purifier is the number one or two ranked brand. They click on that, so then now you're kind of like Amazon's kind of attributing you, right? And like so they know that you clicked into on an Amazon link essentially, and then you go and make a purchase on Amazon, and then they get that commission. So that's the best. Like those, like, so basically brands that have big search markets, so like air purifiers, espresso machines, anything like that, blood pressure monitors, anything where there's lots of people are searching for it, and there's a good margin ideally on the products. Those are the best. I would say there's also some other, there's all kinds of different affiliates. There's tons of influencers and things, but the scale is definitely from those types of affiliates. Now, saying that, they definitely come with a price, right? So, some of our clients pay 100% of the first sale to those affiliate media buyers, because they know that with the lifetime value being 3% or three times or four times, and also we see about 15% of the actual, like from that type of traffic, we see about 15% subscribe to subscriptions on Amazon, is that it really does kind of back out for a lot of these brands. But what I will kind of warn as well is, not only do you have to have very high commissions to offer those types of affiliates, but then also too, it's like they really do. It's not a Robin Hood type of promotion where it's like you're stealing from the rich and giving to the poor. It's the opposite. It's the rich. It's the rich getting richer, because the big brands that can take a loss on the first sale, they can offer the highest commissions. They have the highest EPC, right? Like all of that kind of stuff. Like it really does favor the biggest brands.
Yeah, yeah. It's really hard to compete with the big brands
Yeah.
for the same
It really
time for the same customers. Of course, big
What's
brands
it,
have big investments, big budgets, etc.,
Yeah,
etc.
exactly. And even because I got a funny call with one of our number one affiliates yesterday, who they drive probably around 2,000 to 3,000 sales a month for one of our Amazon brands. And like we're not their biggest. We're probably their, for our categories, we might be number two or third biggest one. And they actually get a flat fee, like, or they just get they basically just get a budget from the biggest brands. So like two of the biggest brands on Amazon and like the health and wellness nutrition space, they just will give them $300,000 or $400,000 a quarter to like spend on Google Ads, just that affiliate. So it's like that's who you're competing against from these big brands, you know. So that's, like I said, it's not Robinhood at all. We want it to be maybe, but it really does favor the biggest brands. So
This is the part where I say subscribe, and you either do it or make me wait in silence. You know. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Then how to find best affiliate and attract them to your program if you are not a big brand?
that's a really good question. I think it depends on what kind of affiliates you want to go after, right? Because like if you're
Let's
a
focus on paid media affiliate.
paid media. So I mean, you're gonna want to have is that you need to have data from paid media campaigns, right? So you need to have, like, you can't just go cold to someone most of the time and say, hey, run this for me, I'll pay you a CPA, put in your own money, and then I don't have any data to support you or anything. The next is the asset side. So you want to have various different landing pages or conversion funnels or whatever you want to call them, right? And then kind of like say, okay, we got a couple of those or two or three of those that we have for our different products and stuff. And then kind of outsource it. The other thing is possibly test budgets to use. So like if you have a budget that you want to use to try to enable an affiliate. So we speak with affiliates sometimes that they call them like a validation period. So that's what the test budgets are, where they will typically look for maybe $20,000 or $15,000 of media spend to validate your funnels, to validate your ads, the what it costs to acquire a customer, and then be able to like run them. So I don't think it's necessarily the biggest brands that it's nice to be a big brand. I think you can also make it as a smaller brand, but you really just need to have basically that conversion rate needs to be strong, and then that EPC for the paid media affiliate needs to be strong. And kind of how you get there is up to you, whether you want to, if you have that data internally already, or if you want to give them a validation budget so they can kind of discover that on their own.
Well, does it mean if, for example, I'm in a small brand,
Yeah.
does it mean that paid media affiliate it's a not good fit for me to start with? Should I focus on someone else? What will be the best fit? I don't know, best type of affiliate for a small brand.
Yeah, so I think probably SEO reviews if you can get on there. So like people who have traffic, organic traffic for like best running shoes, best air purifiers, whatever. So like those would be probably the best, because anytime and influencers, right? So if you can get cheaper traffic, if you're a smaller brand and higher margins, that's probably good. Because anytime you're going to involve media costs, you have to think about like, okay, so I'm compensating an affiliate for media, plus there's typically either an affiliate like a SaaS fee on top of that, or there's a transaction fee or something like, depending on the platform that you're using, the tracking platform. So you have to think there's 2 to 3, and plus the affiliate is going to want to take a margin on the sale because they're taking the risk on for putting their money into the campaign, right? So between those three things, it's probably more expensive to work with any type of media buyers, whether it's those Google Ads review sites like I talked about, or media buyers on Meta or TikTok or native or whatever. So yeah, I mean it gets more expensive that way. So brands who do not understand their true LTV, brands that don't have budgets, and brands that just have to make as much margin on every sale as possible, those are not the best brands to try to work with paid media affiliates. And so really paid media affiliates are there for scale. They're there to help give you some extra additional expertise, and then also to scale things, help you learn faster. But for small brands, that's probably not the growth phase that they're in.
Okay, and as you mentioned at the beginning of our record, you said that you focus more on a middle of the funnel, not like the last click part of the affiliate world, and how you track and attribute all these conversions, because like I think a lot of platforms, they just use last click.
Yeah. So, I mean, it depends. Like you mentioned some of our case studies being like on Amazon Levanta. So, we do have a few programs on Levanta. We also have some programs on Impact. We did have some on Square Dance. We're considering moving some of those to like Everflow, or just at least adopting Everflow. So we have some different platforms that we're on. But I think like, yeah, I mean, like I know for like the terms of like some of our campaigns on Impact are like first party or first click, last click, like, so they kind of like set up the commission terms initially, like depending on the type of partnership. Obviously, like with Amazon Attribution, there's the Amazon Attribution, and there's like the what is it, Amazon Associates kind of thing. So there's different types of attribution that Amazon offers. So we do have both live in our campaigns. We have like Creator Connections, which relies on, I think, the Amazon Associates tracking, and then the Attribution, which is kind of a different tracking tool. So we use that, and I would say it's probably right now about 50-50 in our program. So it's a mix of things. Yeah, I mean, I think really like the first click, last click. I think I know that there's like multi-touch attribution and things that you can set up. Like, I think probably the easiest way to do it, right, is just to not add add last click partners into your program at all to start off with. And then, because then once that, if last click partners get involved and there's going to be multiple clicks in a transaction stream, then that's where things get a little bit more confusing. And so I would just kind of recommend not working with those partners at all. And then you kind of like save yourself that last click jeopardy or risk of having kind of an affiliate come in and take take commission or take responsibility for the sale. So that's kind of our premise. But yeah, I mean, there's different ways that you can do it. So
Yeah, actually, all these attribution things, it's really kind of interesting, because in my work as a marketer, I kind of rarely use all this timely decay or data-driven attribution, etc.,
yeah,
etc., because for me, they're more like a black box.
yeah,
I can't rely on them completely, because I don't know what Google means by this attribution, or Meta, for
yeah,
example. But I always use two types, the first and last. Like
yeah,
the first one, to understand what channel brings me the new audience,
yeah,
the new one, new customers, new visitors.
yeah,
And the last one, to understand what landing page
yeah,
converts better, not channel, but landing page, etc., etc. Like,
yeah.
what is the last point? But anyway, it's a mix.
Well, and I know, I mean, attribution is confusing for everyone, right? Because like,
Yeah.
I think part of it depends on understanding what the source of truth is and how that's like, because if you apply UTMs to everything, you can track, like whether it's you can track your affiliate clicks in a different way, right? Some people use Google Analytics dashboards as like their source of truth. Other people use tools like Northbeam and Triple Whale and things like that, and they've got their own kind of like attribution methods and stuff, like where it's like there's specific tags and their own pixels and whatever. So like there's not going to be a global or a universal way to track every program, because
Yeah.
each team is different. And then also too, even how like marketers look at attribution, like at different teams, is going to be different. Like some people use like MER or whatever, as their like marketing metric of like, okay, like, it's our total marketing spend versus our total, total sales. Like, and so it's like, it doesn't really matter who's sharing the attribution there. They're just looking at it from like, okay, what am I spending versus what am I getting in sales, right? So I think that's kind of where you have to land ultimately, is you have to say, okay, like, how much am I spending? How much am I making overall in my program? Do my affiliates feel compensated well, or are they having any problems with how they're compensated? And if if your affiliates aren't complaining, and you're making enough money at the end of the day, and compared to what you're paying out, then I think that's probably a pretty good place to be.
Yeah. Well, definitely affiliate marketing is, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, is one of the best way to scale your marketing efforts. Not because just because it's more convenient, because there are a lot of different professionals, media buyers, ACO, blogs, reviews, etc. And you can't go you can't pay the same money throw in a Google Ads. You won't get the same result as an affiliate.
Yeah.
Because the affiliate, it's a wide channel. There is a
Yeah.
lot of things.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing about affiliate is that it's so big
Yeah,
that like it really that's part of the reason why I think so many brands don't quite understand it, and then so many marketers don't quite understand it, and even so many affiliate people don't understand it. It's because it's so big. And so I actually think it's too big, right? Like I think it's too broad, and I think it's confusing. So
yeah,
like I think that
definitely.
there's opportunity for someone, and that's part of what I'm trying to do is like if you just cut off all last click partners pretty much like as a rule, and then you focus on mid funnel and upper funnel and these different it's like I kind of at least understand the sandbox in which I'm operating in, which is like if I just try to recruit, if I try to work with every partner type, then like, it just is overload because there's so many different partnerships, and it's overwhelming, and am I actually being efficient and all those kind of things. So I think there is a need for affiliate marketers and affiliate managers and everyone to find a more efficient way to recruit affiliates, to identify, to onboard them, to run campaigns. And so that's kind of where we try to put our focus. So
Sure. And I saw a lot of cases actually with our customers as well, because I am represented a affiliate marketing platform as well, and I saw a lot of brands, and I talk with them. They just, because it's too wide, too not understandable from their side, and they don't have a dedicated affiliate manager, a lot of them ended up just with shut it down,
yeah,
because they it's for them it's too complicated
yeah,
to focus on one thing. A lot of them, they think like it's kind of run and forget,
yeah,
just start and forget, but it is
yeah.
not. Like a
Well,
lot, I know that a lot of brands, they spend years try to just to run, create a program, but
mhm.
years with nothing, with zero promotion,
Yeah.
because it's not how affiliate marketing works.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you ever see some really good brands that want to shut it down, you can let I'm here if you want to, and my team is here to step in if need be. So we'd be, but I think you're right. Is like it is very complex. Like I think I even like I think that most affiliate marketers, and I include myself with this, some like still don't know what we're doing. You know what I mean? Like I think like that's why I'm so much into the theory of it, because like I feel like the way that it has been, I feel like the way that the industry has been set up, or like the again the normal, like the principles of the industry, like it's not effective, right? And so like I feel like if you put in if you put a program in the affiliate washer, right, and then stick it out on the other side, like I don't think it tends to come out very good. So like I think that means that there's a problem with how things are done, right? So and
Yeah.
then it kind of means, okay, well then how do we fix that? How do we, how do we fix that? Is there a way that again we can make it more efficient? Is there a way that we can basically narrow down the types of partnerships that we're working with? Is there a way that we can limit the cannibalization potential? So it's just kind of restricting the focus of your affiliate management to things that only provide value, right? That's really what I'm trying to do is trying to strip away the cannibalization parts, and then again find better ways to dial in on the points that are like where the most value is, the most incrementality, and then work with programs in that way.
Yeah. Well, I think actually I know why a lot of brands, they struggle with scaling affiliate marketing,
Mm.
because I think most of us small brands who just decided to kick off the program, they think it's kind of free sales.
Yeah,
Like I won't spend anything,
yeah,
just will pay in return, and not none of them understand it's not how it works. Affiliate marketing, it's more partnership. It's not like a paid marketing channel. It's a partnership. That is why I think it's so hard to scale. It's partnership. You have to start slow and then gathering speed. Like otherwise it won't run.
Yeah, no, I think, um, yeah, I mean, we have a basically I don't know about like a launch process, if you want to say. So we, regardless of like the type of program that we're and what platform that we're on, like we are going to do our research and we're going to do some certain things to identify like the best affiliates, most efficient affiliates to start off with. So like that's how we launch every program. But like I can, I can definitely understand, again, brands not kind of understanding or misinterpreting like how to start, where to start, how much to start, and ultimately, and I don't want to call like this is a little bit of an industry call out like in the United States, but also too, it's like I can almost 100% guarantee you that if you're not working with paid media affiliates in some way, shape, or form, you are not bringing significant incremental growth over the long haul for brands, right? So if you're not enabled with paid media affiliates, meaning if you're not working with media buyers in native, TikTok, Snapchat, Google ads, Bing ads, whatever, YouTube, Meta, or whitelisting, right? Any of those things is that you're not actually bringing long-term incremental growth. And so, yeah, I'm not even sure where that came from. So I'm trying to think why I said that, but yeah, I mean, like, which is kind of a whole nother ballgame, which I guess comes back to the point or relates back to the point, which is like you need to spend in your affiliate program because working in media channels, which represent incremental eyeballs and incremental customers, they cost money. You don't get
Yeah.
you don't get incremental access typically very cheap, and so that's kind of like the challenge. You need to spend in your affiliate program, which is probably why affiliate marketing is best for brands that are 7 figures and up or 8 figures and up, where it's like those are the brands that are going to benefit the most from it because they're able to devote resources. Now, where the agency or affiliate manager comes in or whatever is, okay, like they're almost like a financial manager. They're saying, okay, these are our different investment opportunities, right? We can go into a whitelisting campaign. We can onboard with a premium publisher with relevant search traffic. We can do these different things. So then how do we invest your money in the wisest way in order to give you the biggest return? So I think that that's a lot of like the agency responsibility or the manager responsibility. But absolutely 100%, like you're not going to be able to really get needle like moving like really big growth like unless you're spending somehow in your program.
I have like uncommon questions there. I decided a little bit change it. Can you maybe share some kind of anti-case of a brand, of a kind of brand?
Uh-huh.
What the biggest mistake they did to, I don't know, to completely ruin their, I don't know, affiliate program? What are the common mistakes with an example?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. So we worked with a GLP-1 brand that was not one of the very best brands. So it was like, if there's 10 brands in that industry, then they were like number 10 out of 10 were like they're the worst, or the number ninth one where like they're just not as attractive to affiliates. So part of that is on us. But I think what they did that was like, I think being easy to work with is like a big thing where like if you're constantly like you have to think that affiliates, you're there to support and make affiliates win, and has to be a partnership. So like anytime that you're being extremely stingy with payouts, or you're trying to find a reason or excuse not to pay your affiliates, not to compensate them, you're basically like you don't have any data internally, and you're not. So basically the biggest thing is just expecting affiliates to solve your business or take on all of the risk. I think that that's a big thing, is like brands, well, okay, yeah, I want to pay you a commission and I want you to take all of the risk. Well, it's like, no, like that's not how they work. And like, so brands need to come in. Like that was kind of like the brand that we worked with. They wanted to they wanted to skimp out on payouts. They were hard to work with. They would turn off things randomly. then not notify affiliates. So like that kind of thing is like trying to work against your affiliates instead of working with or supporting your affiliates, I think is like a mistake that some brands make. Basically, they're more devoted to their bottom line or to their margin than they are to their partnerships. And that's not a good attitude to have with affiliate marketing.
Yeah. I even heard one case when a brand have like almost a year schedule of payout. A year. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, it's
almost
crazy.
a year before paying to affiliate.
Yeah.
Of course, it's not in the US. It's from Europe, but anyway, it's like when I've heard about it, it's like it was, what the hell?
Yeah.
How
It's not a
do
partnership.
do they have any affiliates?
Yeah, that's blackmail. That's not a partnership, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, and the last question for you: uh, uh, how small and media brands? Okay, not this one. Like, when is the best time for small and media businesses start their affiliate program, and when they should hire an agency or do it by themselves? What's the
Yeah.
point when they have to go from their team to an agency?
Yeah, it's a good
In your
question. So I would think that like, I've heard different things. I think really the biggest thing is not really, it's not how much, it's not maybe how much revenue that you're doing, or it's as much about product market fit as it is revenue, which kind of go together. So like if you have a product that people enjoy and people like, and there's a good search market behind it and these different things, then you can have success not being a 7-figure brand or 8-figure brand yet doing affiliate marketing. I've seen it myself. Like I worked with a cookware brand 2 or 3 years ago that we did 50% of their initial revenues. They were spending, a low 5 figures on Meta. They were spending a little bit on Google ads. They were doing some influencers and they were doing some affiliate. And so the affiliate was 50% of their initial sales, like when they launched. So as long as you have product market fit, there's a good website, people like it, like you can do okay to start off with. I think pretty. I kind of like, I do lean, even though I've been on all sides of it. I've been in house, I've been on advertisers, I've been at agencies, I've been a consultant, I've had my own agency. I really do kind of think that agencies are the way to go because there's a lot more data that those people have, that the agencies have, than like an internal brand. And like if you're given the good team, they're just going to be much more efficient running your program than you are. Like, you give me a program, I'll give you an example, right? We started working with a client about, I'll give you this. It's the nutrition one that I just mentioned. I had that call with that media buyer on Amazon. So we started with them in May of 2024, right? So we've been working for a little over a year, and we're close to $1 million referred and incremental revenue for them, starting them from scratch. So we do anywhere between like 90,000 and 120,000, and it's a $20 product or a $30 product, right? So we're selling multiple thousands of units, 100 plus 200 to 200 units a day of affiliate sales of this kind of thing. And if you would have handed that program off to someone else who's just like, oh, I'm just going to find some influencers, or I'm going to work with loyalty, or I'm going to work with whatever, it's like, I'm going to find a podcaster to work with or a YouTuber to work with. It's like, well, they might be at an eighth of what we're doing. They might be at 15,000 a month. So like, just having that level of expertise and knowing where to put your time and energy is, if you're with the right team, the right agency, like that makes it so much like so much better for you. And the scale and the growth and everything can just come so much faster. Of course, if you have someone in house that knows how to do that very well too, then that makes sense. But I think that's the biggest thing, is like efficient use of time and resources, which a good agency will provide, that sometimes in-house people don't have the qualifications for.
Yeah, and I think it's much faster to start with an agency
Yeah.
because it's not a one person team.
Yeah.
It's like it's a team.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a multi brain, multi everything. Yeah, but anyway, the last one. how to distinguish between good and bad agency, how to pick one, because I know I also been in different sites. I've worked in an agency, then I started working as a consultant and an in-house as well, and I saw kind of small amount of good agencies,
Yeah.
unfortunately, especially ACO and paid media agencies. A
Yeah.
lot of them, not kind of scammers, but they
Mhm.
use your brand to earn a lot of money. Not like sometimes they are not using the full strength of your brand, etc.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I think one of the biggest things is like get audits on your program beforehand. So like have them do like a full scale audit and tell you what they're doing. And then, all right, so like I'll just name some people. So like for I I would go to like trusted individuals in the space. Like I know that in Martech Record, for instance, like there's a huge Slack channel that I'm a part of, and I'm a part of a consultant group, and I'm a part of an agency group, and I'm a part of like the general group and stuff. So there's probably 3,000, 4,000 people in there, which that's where your majority of your US talent is going to be, and from affiliate perspective. So if you're a brand, reach out to people like that, like Martech Record or Performance Marketing Association, to see if they can give you some recommendations on the teams. Then once you've kind of dial into the agencies that you think are good or have gotten good referrals from, ask, okay, who am I going to exactly be working with? So like, don't just talk to the sales guy, talk to the account director or the account manager. Then have them do a full audit so that they can give you like kind of a game plan and also give you a diagnosis of where your program is. And then also the biggest mistake and one of the things is like tell them that like you like make sure that you don't just take gross revenue as like the like that shouldn't be the metric that you're looking at, right? It's like gross revenue can be in like, because you can, with attribution you can make multiple affiliates and you can have all these last click affiliates that look like they're doing something, but they're really not. So maybe in the first 6 months or year of a program, say, I only want to work with media buying affiliates, content partners, and influencers and whatever else you want to work with that you find incremental, and say, I will absolutely not work with any of these last click partners. And then you can kind of see that the growth that they're actually bringing. And then 6 months down the line, a year down the line, if you want to layer in those last click partners, maybe you can do that and get some Capital One and Rakuten and all these kind of like loyalty partners. Maybe you can do that then, but I wouldn't recommend starting up front. And I know personally that a lot of agencies teach their affiliate marketers or their employees to start with those partners, right? Because those partners show immediate revenue. And so it makes you look good from a gross revenue perspective, but you're not actually bringing that incremental revenue. So start with the incremental partners first, layer in the last click partners instead of the opposite way around. So that would be kind of my recommendation.